At first, I welcome you to my class. I'm very happy to be here with you. I am Khadija Yasmin, lecturer and head of the Department of English, Government Jilur Rahman Mahila College, Bhairab, Kishoreganj. This class is conducted for the students of honors first year, and the name of the course is Introduction to Poetry. And our today's topic is Ode to the West Wind by Percy Bysshe Shelley. You know, Shelley is one of the major poets, romantic poets of the Romantic period. He was born on 4th August 1792 and in England, in United Kingdom, and he died on 8th July 1822. The death was caused by drowning. He wrote few poems, and among these Adonis, To a Skylark, and Ozymandias are remarkable. And Romantic period started in the 19th century with the publication of the lyrical ballads. It was jointly published by S.T. Coleridge and William Wordsworth in 1798, and the Romantic period started. And the Romantic period, it is a direct reaction of the 18th century. During the 18th century, the writers of the time, they basically depict the society. They criticize the upper class society, upper class fashionable society. Their writing is very much objective, and there was no emotions, no feelings, and their writing was just realistic. But the Romantics, during the Romantic period, the writers bring a change. They become very subjective, and in their writing nature comes, and they are imaginative, and they have the tendency to escape. They have love for nature, love for beauty, etc. And we see that the Romantics are very much they are very much emotional, and they give priority human being, and before that it was not the fact. And another thing is the 18th century writers, they emphasized on the structure of the writing, and they often followed the classical writers. So whenever we'll read Ode to the West Wind, we'll find that many characteristics of the Romanticism we'll find in that poetry. And in Ode to the West Wind, we'll see it has 5 cantos, and in the first canto, I'm going to sum up the whole poem. In the first canto, the poet is very much eager to praise or appreciate the strength and the energy of the west wind, and he says that it has power to drive away all the leaves, and he just celebrates the power. Then in the second canto, he shows that west wind has also power in the sky. It can create commotion in the sky also. And in the third canto, we see that west wind creates commotion under the sea. And in the fourth canto, we will see that the poet desires to be a leaf or a cloud or a wave, to feel the strength of the west wind. In the fourth cantos, the poet desires to be a wave or a cloud or a dead leaf, to feel the strength of the west wind. And he also expresses his boyhood experience. He says during his boyhood he was free like the west wind. He has unlimited freedom. But during manhood, he became helpless. He is chained. He cannot do anything. So he wants to feel the strength of the west wind. Then in the fifth canto, he expresses his desire that west wind may spread his ideas, his thinking over the universe, so that human being can be inspired. And he is very optimistic in the 5th canto that in future he will get. Then in the 5th canto, he desires that he will get a desired thing. So now let us go to the text, and I hope all of you have the text. Okay, now let us go to the text. Okay, let us see the poem. Here, you know, there are 14 lines. In the first canto, there are 14 lines, and I'm just, first of all, I'm reading out the lines and then explain it. Just listen attentively. He says, "O wild west wind, thou breath of autumn's being." So he, at the beginning of the sentence, at the beginning of the poem, the poet addresses west wind as a wild west wind. Wild, you know, wild means untamed. Wild means, you know, free. So west wind is untamed or free. Thou breath of autumn's being. You know, thou means you. Thou breath of autumn's being. You know, autumn is a season, and autumn's breath is the west wind. You know. Breath is an essential part of essential part without which man cannot live. So autumn's breath is west wind. Thou means you, from whose unseen presence the leaves dead are driven. The poet says that west wind, it is invisible, it cannot be seen, but it can drive away the dead leaves like ghosts from an enchanted flame. So here he uses in a simile. Here is a simile. He says that a magician can drive the ghost. Like in this way, west wind can drive away the dead leaves. So this is the explanation of the first 3 lines. And in the first line, we also find alliteration. You see, wild west wind. Wild west wind, you see, WWW. We know that whenever consonant sounds are repeated, this is called alliteration. So in the first line we find alliteration. Now go to the next lines. He says, yellow and black and pale and hectic red, pestilence striken multitudes. So the dead leaves includes varied colors like yellow, black, pale, hectic red, and pestilence striken means affected with disease. So these leaves were affected with disease. O thou who chased to their dark wintry bed. So thou means you. So he says that these dead leaves of varied color are driven away to the wintry bed. Wintry bed means under earth by the west wind. Then he says, the winged seeds where they lie cold and low, each like a corpse in its grave. Then he says that the seeds are winged. Why he says this? Because the seeds can fly. That's why he says that winged seeds where they lie cold and low. So the seeds, the seeds lie under the earth, and the condition of the earth, it is very cold. And he compares this situation with a dead body which lied under the grave. Until thine azure sister of the spring shall blow. Then the west, the seeds are, buried under, earth, and it waits until the call of the spring. Spring is a colorful season, and it calls the seeds to come out like this. Her clarion over the dreaming earth and field, driving sweet birds like flocks to feed in air, with living hues and odors plain and hill. And then he says that because of the calling of the spring, the earth, the hills, the plain, all are covered with color. Different colorful flowers bloom, and it fills the environment with sweet scent. He is saying this is the scenario of the spring basically. Then he says, wild spirit, which art moving everywhere. So he again says that it is a wild spirit. West wind is a wild spirit, and it is moving. Art means ER. It is moving everywhere. Destroyer and preserver. Here. So here he says west wind, a destroyer and preserver. Just see these 2 words. He says that west wind is a destroyer. How it is a destroyer? Because it destroys everything.
it is power, it is strength, it is energy, and it can destroy, and it also preserve. You see, it preserve the seeds under the ground, and then the seeds, germinate, and the plants grow. Then he says here or here. So he just entreats west wind to hear to him. Actually, he wants to express something to west wind. He wants to entreat something to west wind. He desires that west wind will hear to him. So this is basically the meaning of the whole poem, and I hope that you have got some ideas. I think I am going to repeat again. It is basically a symbolic poem. West wind represents actually power, energy, and through west wind the poet basically wants to say something, and I hope you got something. Thank you very much.